Your ex. Girl from you know your worth. Them can't bother you. You look good and your money spent. Them can't bother you. You live for you, you don't live for them. Them can't bother you. All your priorities don't share. Them can't bother you. Let them talk so big. Talk is confidence. You full of confidence. And now I'm hurting them. Cause you full of confidence. You full of confidence, and now I'm hurting them, cause you full of confidence, Your head on your shoulders, you don't got no time to beat me. Waste, girl, waste, girl. You took your education, so you don't have to debate, girl. And what really hurting them, you don't owe because all your bills pay. Yes, girl. And when you out, you just party in a big way. Girl, you bless, walk out and beat your chest. I bet they figure the rest, so them can't bother you. You look good and your money spent. Them can't bother you. You live for you, you don't live for them. Them can't bother you. All your
The views expressed in this program are not the views of Boss 104. In any instances where names are called, it is alleged. Please be guided accordingly.
Hi, good afternoon, one. Good afternoon, all. On the front line for today, Sunday, the 5th July 2026. The currency we deal with on this program is truth and facts, without contradiction, not opinions. From Woodford to Soubise, from Pitty-Matnick to Point Selling. 3 veterans with the adrenaline like rookies. No Johnny come latelys. The real issues as reported by the people. We are the people's spokespersons. Hate is not the answer, but neither is pretending that pain isn't real. We will judge the outcome, but we'll never forget the pain behind it. We advocate for equal dignity, respect, and equal opportunity for all. Let us have that conversation. Our job here is to scrutinize what government does, to criticize its measures and policies, and to propose alternatives, at the same time to draw attention to inefficiency and maladministration in the conduct of national affairs. Today on the front line, we have a guest, first one on the program so far, Miss Rolanda McQueen, better known as the Water Lady. Some say the Confusion Lady. The owner of Mount Pure Water.
Yes, I am. I also just been given a new name today, which is called the...
Raise the voice, Miss McQueen. People want to hear. Go ahead.
Which is called, I think I've been called the Woodance. I know that I've been eating away.
Raise the voice, raise the voice.
So I think I prefer the Woodance. I like
raise the voice,
away.
Miss Rolanda.
Thank you. I have a very soft voice, so I try and...
Yeah, but the people want to hear you too sometimes.
Okay.
We have to speak to...
Yes.
So, Miss McQueen, as you on the program today, we intend to ask you some questions because you have put yourself up for the job of representing the people of Southeast St. Andrew.
Yes, I have. I have put myself up. I think I want to give back. That's one of the main reasons I've put myself up. I want to give back. I think I'll do a very, very good job of it. I look at it, there is a job going in Southeast, and I'm putting in my application.
Before we get into the meat of the discussions, who is Rolanda McQueen?
Rolanda McQueen is someone that grew up in Crowshoe. I claim Crowshoe, Felix Park, Mama Can, Munich, Cafe, all around this area. Because I remember growing up as a child, all this area looked after me. That is what you call a village looking after a child. And I claim every one of them as my family. This is where I grew up. Everybody knows Rolanda.
So you is a known person, no Johnny come lately.
No. No. I remember my I lost my mother at a very young age. So I was adopted by my godmother, Teacher Iris, and everybody knows Teacher Iris. My family is very well known. My brother had the gas station in Crowshoe. Although I lived a lot of my life in the UK, but I always came back home every year. I brought my children back with me because I always made my children know that home for them is Grenada. And I'm doing same with my grandchildren. Home is Grenada. I went to Crochet School, and I also, I still have all my old friends, Regina Lord, Neltris, Esther, Venita. We still are very, very close. Although I spent many years in England, if you ask me who are my closest friends, I will tell you these people are my closest friends. I'm a very family-oriented person. I love family. I love Grenada. I have a passion for Grenadians because we are good people. And that is the reason why when I came back, I'm so excited that I could invest in my people and I could see people's life changing. I could have easily have come back. There are people that is a lot wealthier than me, has done a lot better than me, and think, something, let me just come and retire. But I owe it to Grenada. I owe it to them to invest in my people. I owe it to them to see my country build where we all can benefit. Because down the road, I'm saying to my children, they have to come back home. So I'm not just investing in myself, I'm investing in Grenadians, my children, my grandchildren, and everyone in Grenada.
Yes, so based on what you just said, you're a successful business person. So, and you have already have a successful business going where you've employed over 100 persons, where you've already contributing millions to the economy by way of salaries and, as you say, assisting persons in need. So why politics?
When I first came to Grenada, politics was on the last on my mind. But I saw some very unfairness going on in Grenada. As you can remember, when I took the government to court over the carnival spice mask, I saw Grenadians was pushed away from benefiting, from building a life. In the UK, every summer, every holiday, you find the bigger companies put jobs out there so people can make money to send the kids back to school. And I wanted to do the same thing, and I was stopped. I was prevented. I contacted a few lawyers, and none of them would take the case. I waited until the following year, and I thought there is no way I was going to stand by and see Grenadians taken advantage of. Most people didn't realize Carnival is our biggest street festival. Every Grenadian has a right to partake in it. It didn't go down well with a lot of people. If you remember, LNP and them made a song up about me saying that they shouldn't buy Monk Pure Water, but I didn't care. It was very lonely. I remember speaking to Mr. Ferguson at time and saying, I'm tired. And I had to pay. Remember, all of this money, thousands of dollars, came out of my pocket. But then I fought, I won, and I set a precedent. I want to make sure Grenada belongs to every one of us. And the people in the diaspora has contributed so much to Grenada. And I'm seeing like there is a fight, people trying to put the diaspora against the locals. If it wasn't for the diaspora, where would Grenada be today? We are one. And the people has to realize that we have to stand up as one. And when we see something is being unfairly done, let us stand up and fight for it. Because if we do not fight for it, soon Grenadians would become foreigners in their own land. And this is the reason why I go wrong. And what I see happening in Grenada, we cannot allow it to happen. We have to get government that put us first. When you're driving on the main road, you do not really see the real Grenada. I'm seeing things in Grenada now getting into politics I never ever knew existed. As a Grenadian, as somebody that loves Grenada, as soon as somebody says something about Grenada, your back is up. You get your back up because you don't want to hear anything negative about Grenada. But what I'm seeing, it's sad. And as we go on, I'm happy to elaborate more.
Yes, so you said a lot there. But what I want to get from you, why you choose to get into politics? Is it because you feel it could help? Is it because you feel it could add?
Well, in 7 years, I've taken a company that was done, bankrupt, finished, workers sent home, doors closed, lock on the door, and I could turn it around into a company now that is turning over millions. Last year, my salary was $1.2 million for my workers. Our factory does not close. We opens round the clock, 24 hours a day. If I could do that in 7 years, can you imagine if I've been given the opportunity where I could work in my community, what I could do? I have made it a promise. I am so sure that I could do a fantastic job. I refuse to take a salary. I do not want a salary when I become the next representative for Southeast. That money, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it back into my community because I know I said to my other colleagues, everyone, when I finish with St. Andrew Southeast, would want to be leaving and moving over to St. Andrew Southeast because I am going to work. I know how I could do it. I started my business here in Grenada when I took over from the previous company. They was making 40 cases of water a day. I'm making over 500-600. We're working. We cannot build Grenada for working from 8 to 4. We cannot do it. We have to work. This is our country. And when I'm going around, Grenadians does not ask for much. They're just saying, please, just crack the door open for us. And we are going to do the job. And I am going to make everyone see that we can do it. I have done it with a few workers anybody, if I had asked them, would people come, single mothers, come to the rainforest at 12 o'clock in the night and work? Everyone would have said to me, that is not the case. What we need is strong leadership. What we need is to let people know that their dreams are possible. And we can do it. I am not going to back down. When we went to the hotels, I remember when I first came, and I went to the hotels and I said, we want to sell water. Every one of them said no, because they cannot rely on Grenada, because we does not, we cannot do the supply. We wouldn't be able to meet the demand. We are meeting the demand. We are working hard, and there is no way. I take the water. I know I so believe in what we have here. The passion I have. I remember taking that water to the international market competition, the best water competition in the world. I remember going out and asking the government to help me, to bring my workers, some of my workers, to the competition so they can see how it is out there. And I was told, no, it's a private company, they're not going to take part. I remember when we sent our first load of cases of water, it cost us about $3,000 to post. The water was up, down. Then we had to pay a taxi, $1,000. The water was so far. So as I said, I believe in my country and I believe in my people and I believe we can be successful.
Yes, Ms. McQueen, you gave us a handful there. But the next question that begs, there are other established parties, and you say you want to contribute, that you could have gone to. Why did you choose the DPM?
I am not a follower. I don't just jump up and say, right, I'm going to join a party. Before I join a party, I interview the leader. When I supported NDC the last election, and I've never been a member of any political party. I sat with the Prime Minister. When I decided to join Peter, I heard very good news about Peter, but I don't take people's word for it. I sat down with him, and I thought, this man have a love for Grenada. He has a love for the people. I still did not take this as gospel. I spoke to different people, and I did not come across anyone that had to say anything negative about Peter. And I'll tell you later on, as going on into the village, it's the same thing I'm hearing over and over. I even called Peter and I said, Peter, I think you gave the party the wrong name. It should be called the Peter Party, because everybody has something positive. So I know I am in the right place. And that is the reason why I am with DPM.
Yes, Miss McQueen. So you spoke of your business acumen. So what will you bring to the table as being part of the DPM?
You know, when I go around, I believe I'm not an academic, and I believe in letting our young people know that it is possible. Look at me, for instance. I have so many people working for me. I believe we have to bring very strong values. I want to see everyone being able to have the choice to work. I believe everyone should have proper health care, education. I believe we have to unite. Unity for me is a very, very big thing. I think if we unite, there is nothing that's going to be impossible. We need jobs. We need factories. We need everything that could make our people feel like they are part of the growth of Grenada.
All right, Ms. McQueen. You had indicated of putting yourself up to represent the Southeast St. Andrews. Let's say you become part of state power, your party wins the election. What would you do different for Southeast St. Andrews?
Well, I haven't discussed that with Peter, but I wouldn't want to go and sit down in the ministry. I want to be on the ground. I want to be on the field. I want to be in my community, because on the ground in the community, it is bad. We need leaders. We need leadership. I am going to be on the ground in the community. I don't want to be driving, winding my window up, going and sit down in an office. I go up 3 o'clock in the night, you will find me in my factory. And that is what you're going to see me doing in my community. I could guarantee, I'm asking them to give me that opportunity. You know, it's easy to talk. It's easy to say I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's easy to say I'm too busy in Parliament, or I'm too busy sitting down around a desk. If I was sitting around a desk, my business would not have been that successful. I am going to be in my community, working with the other members of my community and planning. So many times we tell people what we are going to give them, and we never ask people what they want. I am going to ask my constituency what they want, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to plan. We're going to run St. Andrews Southeast as a business, and it's going to be one of the most successful constituency in Grenada.
Just to speak to, there's persons within your constituency who have voted for NNP and are dissatisfied. There are persons who have voted for NDC and are dissatisfied. They are undecided voters. I give you the opportunity now to speak to these people.
There is a job that is coming up for St. Andrews Southeast. And this is how we must look at it. Look at my experience. Look at what I have done. Look at the people that I employ. One of the things I want to say, when somebody comes to me for a job, I do not care whether they are NNP, I do not care whether they are NDC or the movement. I employ people because I know they are capable of doing that job. And I'm asking you, Guy, you can ask me any question. I have my cupboard door, my cupboard door is not closed. Go in, look at it, ask me the difficult question. What I'm saying to you, give me that opportunity. I have come across and I have met people that say they're not going to vote for any NNP, NDC, no party whatsoever. I'm asking you to give me that opportunity. You have nothing to lose. Although you said you are fed up, and I understand where you are coming from. I've seen your challenge. But look at what I have done. If in 7 years, I could employ over 100 people, I could have more than 3 successful business going. I employ children with Down syndrome. I employ people with mental health. I employ single mothers. I employ single fathers. I just want to give that example. I had one young man, and sometimes I get emotional about things, and he came to me and he said, Miss McQueen, I have one son, and this son is living with his mom, and the mom is not taking good care of him. He said, I had a very tough life growing up. He said, can I work on another shift? I say, of course you can. I take that young man from working in the morning, and now he is working at night so he could look after his child. This is the person you will be voting for, somebody that cares. You know, I care about people. I care about my people. You know, I does things, maybe I remember somebody that I help out said to me, Miss McQueen, you never speak about anything when you help. And I said, no, because when I help somebody, I'm helping my family. We are family. I speak to my workers, I like to chat as well. And I said to them, listen, the younger people, when I speak to them like my children. I go to them, my children don't listen to me, so all you don't have to listen to me. But this is what I want to see, the positive things I want to see from the young people and from my country.
Miss McQueen, why should someone vote for Miss McQueen and the DPM?
We have a great leader. Peter is a good man. And if he wasn't, I would be the first one to say that. Peter loved Grenada. Peter loved his people. When I go out into the community, I see young men, I see single mothers coming up and saying what Peter has done for the family. I've never ever heard anybody mention any of the other prime minister name or leaders. You know, everyone has something positive. So there is no reason why. If I didn't think Peter was going to be a good leader, I can afford to run by myself, and I could afford to give the message and tell people what I feel. But I think we have to give him a chance. We have to give him a chance. You have to give DPM a chance. There is nothing you have to lose by giving us a chance. And as I say, I make that promise. And I would not have followed Peter if I believe he was not going to be the leader he said he was going to be.
Miss McQueen, I'll give you the opportunity now. Woman to woman. Speak to the women, the Grenadian women, why they should support the DPM.
I have been a single mom, and I know how difficult it is to be a single mom. And there is lots of things I have done. I've went and I've walked the street campaigning by myself on my own. The things that is happening, the abuse I see going on with women, the DPM is going to make sure we have strong policies to protect our women. We're going to have strong policies to make sure our children are feeling safe. We're going to make strong policies to make sure our women can start small businesses. You know, if I could do it, I started my business with £5. If I could do it, I know you can do it too. And I'm going to be there, shoulder to shoulder, heel to heel, working together with you. The DPM will make sure we have representative when decisions are made. They're not going to tell us what they're going to give us. The DPM is going to make sure we're going to tell them what we want. And that is the reason why you have to join me. You have to give me that support. And you know, things like when I see last year, I was looking at some figures made with the in the tourist cruise ship. We want some of the money. The women in St. Andrews Southeast, the women in Grenada want some of all this money that is in Grenada. We cannot keep living the way we are living. To the women in Telescope that has told me, Miss McQueen, the rain season is coming and I'm going to be getting wet. Give me the opportunity. I'm asking you to give me the opportunity. That will not happen. To the women that in my constituency that are living on land and don't know when the bulldozers are going to come and plow their house down, I'm asking you, when I am your representative, it will not happen, because I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder, heel to heel with you to make sure that does not happen. As I said, when I started my business, I started it with £5. The women in Soubise that has in their little corner shop and there for 10 years, and all what they are asking the government for is water. When I become your representative, together, we are going to make sure you got it. Small business is what moves an economy. There is no way, as I said, I know what it's like to take a business from nothing and make something out of it. But I cannot do it by myself. I need every hand on deck. I need everyone. I need every father. I need every brother. To the young men in Soubise that build a boat by hands. I couldn't believe I'm seeing young men that could build a boat by hands. And all what they want is an engine for $25,000. I am going to make sure that you get it, because it's a small business that keeps our economy turning. This is the reason why I'm asking you guys to give me that opportunity.
Most of the Grenadian homes, Miss McQueen, as we know, is headed by women, and in most cases single women. What would you, in recent times we've heard about the striptease and others, and we don't know if they do it out of necessity or out of something they really want to do. What would you say to these people, and why these people should support Rolanda McQueen?
I think most of this strip club is caused by poverty. And this again makes me very emotional. Because can you imagine if some of these women that have kids going to school, the children would be bullied, that does not mean because you're going and do stripping, you're a bad mother. But society would look at them as a bad mother. If it's their choice, you cannot choose what people wants to do. But we have to look at the younger generation. We have very bright children in Grenada. We don't want children have the worries of other children bullying or teasing them. And we do not want our kids to believe that how we could get money. We do not want to look at success with stripping or money with stripping. We want to let our children know that they can work hard at any job, right? If somebody wants to do something, it's their own life. But it's sad if women are stripping because they have to look after the children.
Just to interject here, the DPM housing program, how would it affect those persons we're speaking of?
I think I look at the what the government, present government is saying they're going to give the prices of the home. I think it's $7,000. I do not know any family in Grenada that is owning, ordinary family that is owning that type of money. I bought my first house when I was 21 years of age, and because the government had a scheme like what DPM have, that enabled me to buy my house, and I was able to build myself from there.
Speak a little bit more on the scheme, what the DPM has.
Yeah, what the DPM has is going to give young people the opportunity to build a home. We're going to give them the deposit for the home. We are encouraging families to get a home, and that is how you climb the property ladder. You know, as I said, that is how I started off, so I think it's a brilliant idea that we can bring forward, and we have and walk people through it. I think it's a brilliant idea, because I said if I didn't get this opportunity, I would not have been where I am today.
We talk about the women, but in recent times, even the Prime Minister has spoken out of as our young men are in crisis. Should you inherit state power, what are the things you would do or cause to be done to motivate and to rescue our young men?
Well, I employ 5 young men that has mental health problem. I has a brother that has mental health problem, and one of the things I believe we can do is to make sure that we create jobs, skills. When we see our men are suffering, we encourage them to have counseling. There is a lot of things going on with our young men now and our young women that we cannot just look at it and walk away from it. Most of our young men are medicating with alcohol or drugs. You know, we have to look after our young men. We have to speak to them. We have to make sure that we give them job training, agriculture, tech. One of the jobs that people do not want, we have to start making it sexy again. I remember I've just went to graduation, and I spoke to the headmaster and even Mr. David Andrews, and everyone that was there, you know, which was great. They was giving the testimonial of how successful they were, and this was a doctor this and doctor that. But the people that was giving out the prizes were entrepreneurs. My cousin, I gave prizes out. My cousin, who has a bakery in Crucial, and afterwards I said to them, we want to make sure that our young people look at every job, and it's how well they do their job, whether they are a window cleaner, whether they are a farmer. I've never met a poor farmer. And we have to make sure that we give our people the skills, and we don't make them embarrassed of any job what they are doing. So we have to train, stronger training we have to give to our young people. And as I say, whatever it is, whether you're a window cleaner, whether you're a fisherman, whether you're a builder, whether you're a teacher, it takes every one of us to make Grenada a successful and a better place.
I'll allow Kiwi to ask you a couple of questions, followed by Devon, and then you have some questions I need to ask, but I'll give them an opportunity to. So, Kiwi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miss McQueen.
Raise your voice, Kiwi.
Good afternoon, Miss McQueen. Welcome to On the Front Line. Miss McQueen, you will not be treated with kids' glove here today, you know.
That's
We're
all
going
right.
to ask you hard, tough question. The test of a good leader or a good captain, they must be able to sail the ship in smooth waters and choppy waters. You understand? That is why we're going to ask you a hard, tough question. Miss McQueen, you build a business, let's say a business that was almost bankrupt, and you build it up into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Now, we know capitalism don't have human face. You understand? Some people gain their wealth by sheer exploitation and oppression. I listened to you and said, hey, what you said, you employ people has physical challenges and yet still you make it. You said, look, your wage bill is over $1.2 million. You employ over 100 people. Your tax to government is over $1 million. How are you able to achieve this with physically challenged individual? You understand? And knowing some Grenadians really don't like to work hard. How you manage?
Peter said when we first spoke, he said we're not leaving anybody behind. And as I said, when I look at Grenadians, I look at Grenadians as family. And in every family, there is someone we have to help. Now, the people that I have that has mental challenge or mental health, I speak to my workers and I tell them, listen, before that person starts, we have to look after them. They're not going to be as fast as us. I make sure my secretary is the one that would, people that need medication, I give her the job to make sure they take their tablets. I will speak to the mental health nurse. So we're not leaving anyone behind. This is family. My business is a family business. Grenada is a small island, and we have to look after each other. And that is how I look at it. I just look at it's a family business. Everyone, we know each other. So we have to bring each other along. That is why the movement say nobody is left behind. We have to go. Everybody is going. We're doing like the Chinese. If we say we're going so, everybody is going so. And that's how I run my business.
Great. Ms. Macquin, you want to run Grenada as a business. You understand? Therefore, you will have to put pressure on a lot of people to work hard because is profit that cause your business to evolve, you know. How will you deal with lazy people in the workplace?
We have to give accountability. You see, I look at a lot of people look at the people in power and say, well, if they're thieving, are thieving too. We have to give accountability. If somebody come into my business and they're thieving, what we're going to do? We're going to call the police. So when people, we having people getting into government, going in as an ordinary person and coming out as millionaires. If you go in as an ordinary person and you come out as a millionaire, that means you're a thief. If I look at my workers and I know the wages I'm paying them, and I see all of a sudden they're doing things, I know something is wrong. Accountability. I have to account to the government of Grenada for the money I am making and to pay my taxes. So everybody has to account. We have to have people to answer in places like China and Asia. When they find government ministers stealing, this is a death penalty. We have to make people scared that if they were to steal from our purses, the government purse, that there will be consequences. Every government so far that I hear coming in, they're saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And next thing you hear, everybody is stealing, everybody is being corrupt. We have to hold people's hands to the fire. When we hear something, we have to investigate it, and we have to make sure if they are found guilty, we put them up in Richmond Hill.
Ms. Macquin, Dr. Mitchell enter politics with millions. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell enter politics with millions. Yet still, people pointing the finger at them for corruption. You get involved in politics with millions. What make us convince us people wouldn't point the finger at you too?
Because what I believe is everybody should make every year, like the people that started, I would say from Dr. Mitchell, the people I'm going up, they should say how much money they start with. Grenadians are very good at doing maths. So if I started my politics in the time of Dr. Mitchell, and I am here now. Find out how much you started with before. Do the maths. We are capable of doing the maths. We shouldn't keep brushing things underneath the carpet. We have to do the math. Where is the money going? You know, and again, people shouldn't be getting into politics for the money. What the type of money the ministers and them are earning, I do not agree with that. You know, there is so much perks you get as a politician. Everybody wants to feed you. You have a driver, you've got petrol, and you still want that type of money. That is where the corruption, politics should be about people. Politics should be about giving back. When I'm hiring somebody to do my job, I am not hiring somebody that's going to come and steal from me. I'm hiring somebody that is capable of doing the job, and we watch every move that they are making. We all have to put our eyes on our politicians. It's our money. I cannot be paying tax. If I know I am paying my taxes and the politician is stealing, then we all going to start stealing. Where are we going? Where is our country going to be?
Monsieur Lunda, you are multi-millionaire. Why you choose to invest in Grenada? Why didn't you just, build a big house, fence around, and spend your money and have a good time? Why you get involved in Grenada politics?
Because
what is in it you see you like?
Because it's fulfilling. If you see the type of entrepreneurs we have in Grenada is mind-boggling. The type I look at our carnival. Our carnival is becoming the biggest in the Caribbean. The artists we have, the creativity we have. Who wouldn't want to invest in Grenada? Who will not want to invest in Grenada? The people in the diaspora. I see when we had COVID, I was giving people cases of water. We had lined all around the Carnage, right? Our people love Grenada. I love Grenada, just like the other people out there, and that is the reason. Nobody could change my mind about investing in Grenada. I love my people, I love Grenada, and I'm going to continue investing. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want my grandchildren to say, this is what my grandmother did. Grenada is me. Grenada is in my blood. Grenada has done so much for me, and all I'm doing is just giving back.
Ms. McQueen, I said before we will not treat you with kids' glove on this program. Tell me something. You still on a member, the board of director of Grenada Development Bank?
Yes, I am. I'm still a member of the GDB. And although I do not support an NDC, I was given the job by the Prime Minister. I'm representing Grenada. I am not, it wasn't a political appointment, and I am there, yes, on the board. People
been accusing government ministers and party hacks for using the Grenada Development Bank as the supermarket. Did you apply for loan in this bank? Did you part of this?
Yes. When I okay, look at it that way. Every penny I have is in Grenada. When my friends come to Grenada, I make sure that they go to Co-op Bank with their money. That's where my money is. When my son wanted to buy a property, I have invested maybe well over $20 million in Grenada.
Oh, that's great.
When my son wanted a property, that was before I got into politics. He went to the GDB, and that is where I would have gone. And he got a loan. It wasn't for much, and I had to put my name on it because he wasn't earning enough money. I will not put my money in any other bank but a Grenada bank. I could easily go to any, but I have this type. Grenada needs my money. Grenada needs the interest from my money. Why would I go and give it to another bank? If I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to open an account there, I could easily move it. I have no problem moving it. But we have to support our country. And I do things, everything I done, as I said, it's legal. I could open my book anytime. But if I want to move it, I could easily move it in the morning. But I have no problem investing my money in Grenada. And as I said, this is where I invest my money, in Grenada. So if I have to go for a loan, where should I go?
Where you invest? Okay, that's fine. Tell me, Miss Yolanda, you go wrong every day religiously. You go wrong every day religiously in the constituency of St. Andrews Southeast. Tell me the level of poverty you encounter. Single mothers, unemployed, poor housing. How you feel about that? The people condition in this constituency.
This makes me emotional as well. Slavery has been abolished in Grenada nearly 200 years. And the condition I've seen people living in, we should be ashamed. We should really be ashamed. I went and somebody took me around their house, and that roof was like a strainer. We should be ashamed. I met one woman that lived on a piece of land for 40 years. She had her children there, her grandchildren there, and her great-grandkids there now. There is no toilet. She cannot put a toilet in the house. There is the condition, Grenadians, when you look at our history, as I say, slavery has been abolished over nearly 200 years ago. We should be ashamed to see our fellow Grenadians living in this condition. There is no excuse whatsoever that people have to live like that. I've had the opportunity to travel. It's not the size of the house, not everybody that could live in a villa, but my God, can we let people live with pride? I went into a house, and I love to chat. I cannot, and there was one house I saw when I went up the stairs, and I had a peep inside of the house, and that house overhanging over the door, there was 4 gold medals, and I said to the mom, who is this medal for? And she said to me, "Is my son that won 4 gold medals." So we have our little Kirani James living in this type of conditions. I went again and I saw a grandmother who had 2 grandchildren with her. One of them wanted to be a doctor, one of them wanted to be an engineer. This is the type of things I am seeing, and this is the type of things that make me know I have to fight. I lost my mother at a very young age, and here I am today. And if I could do it, this little child I saw in Telescope, this little child I saw in Maquis, they can do it too, and I am going to make sure that they will do it. I am there with you. I am there for you. They say I like confusion. They don't see nothing yet. We are going to do it. Why should slavery abolished over 200 years ago, and our people living in this condition? I see children with rotten teeth. I see a woman told me that she has rubbish around her house since from Hurricane Ivan. I've seen a woman that has a stroke. If you see the rubbish around her house, I've seen children. I never know children used to be running around naked with a little jingling all over the place. When you take a turn into a place, no, it is wrong. As I say, it's not the size of the house. I have people telling me that they're voting for a window and they're voting for a piece of board. They will say to me, "Oh, well, I want this person gave me a window and this person gave me a piece of board because I was waiting." That is wickedness. You don't treat our people like that. They does not deserve it. And I'm going to fight for them, KB. I don't want to speak like that. I'm going to stand up with you guys. It will not happen. Bet on me. I'm giving all you my word. There is no way. I'm going to stand by and see that my people is treated in that manner. You does not deserve it. And you know something? They don't ask for much. They just say, "Give us a little." Why would a woman that has a stroke, right? A woman that live on a piece of land for 40 years? Why would a woman that live on some land have a business in Subi for over 10 years not be crucified and not given some water so she could empower herself?
Miss McQueen, you are one of the richest women running for election this round as a candidate. And it seems as though you're giving hope to a lot of single mothers, you know. You lost your mom at an early age. You start your business with £5. And today you are a multi-millionaire. How much Yolanda you want to you want to see in that constituency? How much from Telescope to Mama Kian? How much Yolanda you want to see?
Every house I have been to, I've seen a Rolanda. Every house I have been to, I've seen, what's the gentleman that builds the houses? Mr. Latouche. I see Mr. Latouche. Every house I have been in, I've seen doctors, I've seen nurses, I've seen builders. And, you know, we call them people children. I call them by name. I see a John, I see a Rolanda, I see a Jenny, I see a Ralph, I seen a Kit Mitchell, I seen a Deacon Mitchell. Right? I've seen the top lawyers, the top doctors, and I'm going to make sure that these children's dreams come true. As I say, I'm not an academic, but if I am the one that going around now employing scientists, employing accountants, I know we can do it. I know my people can do it, and I know we will do it. Nobody cannot tell me anything else.
Last question. Recently, the Prime Minister establish diplomatic relationship with a few countries in Africa. And, you know, recently we had some Nigerian coming in as tourists. What do you take on that? Because they had some blowback. Some people felt, you know, we should quarantine them. Some people felt they qualify for VIP treatment. What is your take on that?
I loved it. I enjoy. I went to the show and I loved it. Kebi, we have Indians here that comes in with their own people. I've never ever heard anybody speak about it. We have the Lebanese, they bring in their own people. I've never heard anyone speaking about it. Now, if we could bring in our own people, I cannot see the problem. We have TB, I was told, in Grenada. I sure the Nigerians didn't bring it in. I have no problem in bringing in people. In fact, you know, one of the hardest things to find in Grenada is accountants, because we do not, most of it, as you know, Grenada, the clever ones, they leave the country. I would employ anybody that is qualified. Maybe what I would say, we could vet them. We know the type of things we are lacking on our island and bring them in the world. The best doctors, the best accountants, just look it up. You could see what the Africans put into the economy, in the foreign economy. I have no problem with the, Dr. Mitchell, Deacon Mitchell, inviting the Nigerians and them to come in. And if people know, the only reason why they haven't come in before is because Europe blocked them. If you have to come into the Caribbean, you must get a landing visa or a transit visa through these European countries, and they are refusing. I've had that experience. So, you know, I have no problem with that whatsoever. None whatsoever.
What's about the VIP treatment they receive? Or you see anything wrong with that?
When I travel, I get VIP treatment because I pay for it. So if they're coming over and they paid for the treatment, why not? We had royalties coming over. We had kings and queens and princesses. When Prince Charles and the Queen come over, don't we give them that same treatment? I don't think they even travel with a passport. So if we could give that type of welcome to our colonizers, why can't we give the same to our kings and queens and princesses from Africa? I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, thank you, Miss Yolanda.
Sister Yolanda, pleasant afternoon to you and welcome to On the Front Line. My first question to you is you have become a senator a couple of years ago, right? In the Grenada Senate. What gave you that encouragement, or what interests you basically to be a part of the higher, echelon of our politics, or even the structure within our government?
Again, it's people and love of country. I'm the type of person that love to see. I know what my country is capable of. I know what my people are capable of. And I believe if every one of us sit back, nothing will happen. I remember when I supported the NDC, I was totally shocked when they won. I saw people that I never ever seen before. And one of the things I must say to the politicians and them out there, you have people that go on the ground and support you guys. And when all you win the election, all you only going for all your big time friends and them, and all you leave the Grenadians that's been supporting all you in the same, excuse my word, mess. You cannot do that. The people, and that is the reason why we fail, because we do not remember the people that get us there. I was totally shocked. I said, I never knew there was all these NDCs. I was the one was out in the field with Dr. Mitchell. I remember, Deacon Mitchell. I remember Deacon Mitchell calling me and asking me to come on the campaign trail with him because nobody was coming out. People said to me, Miss McQueen, you better hope NNP win, because if NNP win, that would finish you. We have to stop the victimization and allow people to vote for who they want. Donald Trump was Democrat, then he was jumping another party. This is allow people to be free. And when the people go out there, I met one woman that been with the NNP all her youth. Now this woman hasn't got a roof to put over her head. I've met men that's been abused by political leaders. We have to stop these things if we want our country to grow. We cannot treat our people in that way. Yes, we could fight. Yes, we could disagree. But when people is on the ground and you win your seat, don't pass and wind up your window when you're seeing them. If I had the chance, none of all you would have go in a ministry. Every one of you would be in the field working.
Glad to hear that, and to hear where your head is at when it comes to that. Now, what really gave you that interest or that push to want to represent St. Andrews Southeast? I mean, knowing that that's where your roots is at and everything like that. But what other, important factors that drive you to try to represent, to be a MP for St. Andrews Southeast? What do you want to do different to what is being done now?
Well, people in that area knows me. I wanted to run in an area that if I was telling lies, they could say to me, Rolanda, I don't believe you. I don't have, as I said, I'm an open book. And St. Andrews Southeast is one of the biggest constituency. And I'm still, although I'm representing St. Andrews Southeast, I would ask Miss Pierre to come around the table with me and let us have a discussion. I would like to ask Mr. David Andrew to come around the table and have a discussion with me. And if you could offer St. Andrews Southeast something better than what I could offer them, I would step down. So I'm calling on these two people. Come and tell me what you could offer them better than what I can offer them.
St. Andrews Southeast is predominantly made up of farmers, fisher folks, right? Small business people, and young people, right? What are your plans, right, for that constituency, especially when it comes to farming and to our young people? Because we have seen over the years a lot of lip service being given to our young people, our farmers. Look at the
amount of money that is put into farming, right? Look at the attention that is paid to farming presently by this present government. What's different would you do, and how much more, right, that you would put out to help the farmers and fisher folks within St. Andrews Southeast, because that's the backbone, right, of the economy of that area, that constituency.
Okay, let us take farming, for instance. My cousin is a farmer, and he tells me he makes $1,200 a day, more than what most people are making. When he goes to the bank, he don't get any money. I have other friends that are farmers. If they produce too much, they just have to leave it in the field to spoil because they cannot sell it. You know what I would do with that? With any excess food, we would package them and blast freeze them. So we have vegetables all year round. This type of ramen our children are eating. Mangoes. When I see the amount of mangoes that is on the ground, I cannot believe we have representatives, people that should be making sure we are eating healthy. These mangoes are wasted. We will get it, we will blast freeze our mangoes. We'll have mangoes, we'll have breadfruit, we will have potatoes, we will have everything. It does not take much. What it takes is thinking. How are we going to do it? I opened a bottling company in Grenville, where I have, and Grenville and St. George's, where I sell bottles to maybe over 500 people a day. We could make juice. We have to, as I said, if we do not run Grenada as a business, we would not succeed. Can you imagine we are encouraging farmers to farm, and when they have an excess, they just have to throw it away? Why? The only reason why we have to throw it away because we have people in position that has no experience and not thinking. When you go to the UK, you go to the frozen department, they freezes everything. Carrots, mangoes, potatoes, everything. Why can't we do the same here? It makes me so angry. When I see a cousin of mine did ginger and they were selling it, the imported ginger at where we buy the no, not the supermarket. Where's the one there? The one that the marketing board. They were importing ginger cheaper than what he was selling it for. So he just took all the ginger and just threw it under the cocoa. Why? Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Carnival is coming now. Right, it's our biggest street festival. The big boats are coming in from Trinidad. I was told they come in with all their water and everything. Do you know how much employment the 4 water company could have created if only we had run Grenada as a business? Maybe we could have put on night staff. We could have get money. We could have pushed. The government could have sit down with us and find out ways how we can keep the money in Grenada. Carnival does not belong to Grenada anymore. Everything now, I was told, you have to buy it on the internet and it goes out to America or England or Europe or Trinidad. Come on, why are we doing that to our people? And our people have to be asking for donation to be able to send their children back to school. When I was a child, my mother used to take her tray, go down in the junction, and they would sell the little potato pudding. They will sell things to bring back to send the kids to school. Now our people have to beg so they could get things to send their children back to school because we're not running our country as a business. The only how we can change things is to make people accountable. It's our carnival. We shouldn't be able, everybody should be creating. We should have people sewing, doing things to keep the money here. All this money that is coming in, everything going back out. Our Calypsonian, I have a young guy that is taking part. He has to come and buy bottles from me to make to put coconut water so he could pay for studio time. This is an embarrassment to put our children through that when they are the one that is bringing people here in Grenada to enjoy our carnival. We should have the biggest recording studio in Grenada to encourage our young people. Music is a very big market. Why are we doing that to our kids?
Well, there's a lot of work to be done. My final question for the time being. As a businesswoman, you have moved around the island and you have listened, right? And you have seen for yourself the cost of living in our country, right? You given an opportunity to be a member, right, of parliament or a member of government, right? What would you do to help the people of Southeast in particular, right, cushion the high cost of living that we are experiencing right now? What are some of the things that you're willing to put out to assist them so they can cushion some of the harsh effects that cost of living is putting out on them right now?
I think we are lucky in Southeast because we've got the sea right there. We've got the great agriculture land. As I said, I think that is the reason why I want to be on the ground, to show people how it can be done. We have the farming of what's Auntie Anders? Sea moss. There is just too many things to do not to make Southeast a success. I just think there is just we're not going in a place like say Carriacou where we haven't got the water and we haven't got the good soil. There is just no excuse for somebody to be working in St. Andrews Southeast or in the countryside in Grenada and not making a success of it. There is just too many things to do. Too many things to do. And I'm looking at factories. I'm looking at, as I said, I think it's one of the easiest job to be able to create, employment for people. And the people there are ready. They're on the track, ready to take it, the opportunity, and run with it. So you have people that is willing, that wanting it. So there is no reason why we cannot do it.
One of the things that DPM as an organization is pushing is that jobs, right? Jobs that pays and jobs that last. Okay, our young people, and I'm sticking to Southeast, right? Have over the years been experiencing high unemployment. I mean, they have been struggling to even get an opportunity to learn skills, right? So they can build themselves as they move forward, help their families, and so. What will you do as the MP of St. Andrews Southeast, right, to assist young people to get good jobs, good paying jobs, and to keep those paying jobs, right, that would help them develop?
As I've said before, what moves an economy is small business. And the only how we can create jobs is by building and encouraging small businesses. When a young man wants to go for a loan to build a business, they are asking him for collateral, security. He hasn't got it. Now, how is he going to grow if we do not invest in our young people? Let me tell you something about the banks in Grenada. From personal experience, if I go for a loan, they want security. And now they are asking for personal security. So you could give them collateral, but they want your blood as well. I've met people that want to open business and they have great business ideas, but they cannot do it you will always hear they say, oh, when the Indians and them buy, they buy together and they separate it. There are no one here to help the entrepreneurs out there that wants to do things. We have to invest in our people. We have to trust our people. And I trust them that they will pay back their loan. How could you grow your business when something like water, they wouldn't give it to you? I want us to share some of this money that is coming into tourism. Growing up as a child, the whole of Sobeys and Marquis were places where the tourists used to stop, where people was plaited straws and selling lovely bags. But even if this place haven't even got a toilet, if you look at the state of the toilet in Grenville, I would like to take them ministers and them, put them in there and lock it and leave them in there and see how they will feel. How will we bring tourism in these areas when we are not doing anything so our people could create it? As I say, all what they want is just to crack the door. Give them the little help that they can, and they will do it. Charge them some rent. Charge them a little rent and help them because they are willing to do the work. They are willing to do it. We can do it. Give people the opportunity to. And again, if they fail and they cannot pay back, so what? How many people that owe us money and run away with it? So we might as well invest it in our people.
Most definitely. Thank you very much, Ms. McQueen. So far, Masakal.
Yes, Ms. McQueen. Cannabis. You were once the chairperson of the cannabis committee?
Yes, I was. I was the the chairwoman for the cannabis committee, and I was excited because I saw, when I look at anything, I see the business side of it. But I think most people saw they just wanted maybe to go and smoke and everything like that. I saw the business side of the cannabis committee. I had so many ideas. I was designing different things. But I think now we're going to legalize cannabis. And there are cannabis that is coming into this country that it seems we do not have control of. And it's sending our young people mental. I had one of my workers, and I said to him, I said, why can't you stop smoking? Because you see it's making you ill. He said, Miss McQueen, I try, but it is everywhere. He said the cannabis is in everywhere, every street, every shop, everywhere. When I wanted to get involved in the cannabis, I saw the business side of it. I did my research and I see how much money people was making. I know we have the best soil, but it seems like the cannabis is just a way lots of people want it. The people that was doing it illegally is a way for them to be doing it legally now. And it is destroying our young men and women.
Was the cannabis conversation one that any research was done into?
How I look at things, whatever the West is doing, we want to do it. But we do, and we're taking the research from what the West does and we're bringing it to ours. You know, but everybody home, every man run their home differently. I personally do not think what I see what is happening now, I don't think that is what we had bargained for. I think the intention was good, but as I say, it's a way of bringing in the hard cannabis, the skunk, and you could see what's happening. So I personally believe we really have to go back onto the table and look at this cannabis issue again. There is just too much of it here. Too much of this illegal cannabis coming in. And this is what I'm seeing it. I have these young men working with me, and I have them telling me the stories of the cannabis that is outside there on the street now.
Victimization, we will get back to cannabis in a bit. Victimization. Now there's a cult here in Grenada, and I'm saying that without fear of contradiction, that anytime government change persons are being victimized because they lose their work, they lose their earning, and that is facts. How would the DPM treat with persons who are perceived not supporters of the DPM should the DPM inherit state power?
Well, I'll give you an example. I like to give you the example. I invited Miss Pierre to come to visit me in my factory, and she came
Where's
up.
the voice, Miss Martin? Where's the
Yeah,
voice?
and she came up. I invited Miss Pierre to visit me at my factory, and she came. And there was a young lady there that really liked Miss Pierre. And when she saw Miss Pierre, she was running to meet her, to greet her. And then she stopped. And I said, no, go on. If you like Miss Pierre, go on and give Miss Pierre a hug. I am not going to criticize Miss Pierre or say anything bad about her. She has put up herself to serve, and we have to respect that. I'm not going to speak bad about David Andrew. He has put himself up to serve, and we have to respect that. As I say, let us treat this as a job. Let us look at who could do a better job. I know when I took the government to court for Spice Mass, I was called all kind of name. I was, everything. And I mean, people saying to me, people came to me and said they wouldn't even buy my water. But you know something, the Grenadian, my water came from down there and it went right up. The Grenadian supported me, they still supported me, and I want to thank them. We cannot because we are frightened of people victimizing us, making the wrong decision. If we stay back because we are scared of victimization, that is when we get the wrong government in place. Somebody called me today and told me, the road in the mountain is terrible. My driver called me and he said, Miss McQueen, I am scared we're going to have a terrible accident. I have somebody up there that is doing great business up there. And she called me today and she said, what are we going to do about the road? I said, let us write a letter to the Prime Minister. She told me she is scared. She said, I'm scared to do that because I'm scared of the victimization. Victimization, my people, is destroying our country. Every one of us, we are entitled to our own opinion. We are entitled to vote for who we want to vote for. But because you support NNP or NDC or the movement, we shouldn't hold it against you. And that is the reason why I say if we don't run our country as a business, we are putting people in the wrong jobs and they cannot do the job, so we will not move on. If you have somebody in NNP that is doing a great job, leave them there. If you have somebody in NDC doing a good job, leave them there. It's the same thing as the movement. We cannot destroy our country because of party politics. We cannot do that. It's a mistake. If you like me, and if I have to go somewhere and I have to buy water, I'll buy Glenelg, Poly, or Aqua Blue. I'm not going to go and buy one that's coming out from other. We have to learn how to unite and what is going to be best for us. Do not allow politics to divide us. I am going up for a job. Interview me, look at what I have done and vote for me. Because of that, we have to stop voting because we like somebody or because that person give us a piece of board or that person give us a window. We cannot run our country like that. If I was employing people because they support the DPM or because they like Miss McQueen, we would not have had a successful business. We are all one. Let us respect each other. And if anybody out there that want to support me know they're going to go and disrespect Miss Pierre or Mr. Thing, then I prefer not to have that support because I personally will not respect them. I've sat down. I have tea with Miss Pierre. I've sat down. I know David Andrew, the Prime Minister. I am not going to disrespect any of them, and please don't disrespect any of them on my behalf.
Corruption. Now, by many or too many, this present administration is laced with corruption. Some say never in the history of this country all man jack, meaning all ministers, have some allegation or level of corruption leveled against them. Should you and the DPM inherit state power, how would you deal with a situation that a colleague minister of yours is alleged to be corrupt?
The first thing I'll do, I'll go to the prime minister. I'll go to the leader. I'll go to Peter David, and I'll say, listen, this is what I hear. And if you don't investigate it, I'll go in and put it out there. I'll go in and, is it Anna Augustine? And I'll go in and put it out. Corruption destroys a country. Corruption causes so much problem. It will destroy our healthcare. It will destroy education. It will destroy everything. I will make sure I report it. I will report it. I will speak about it. I will go to the person that they are saying that is corrupted, and I will speak about it. But first, I will go to the leader. And if the leader does not do something about it, that means he is not in the place to lead. That means he's not a strong leader. When I'm in the UK, if anyone come up, an allegation is made, the Prime Minister would, and the people would ask the person to step down and let it have a full investigation. You cannot know somebody is involved in corruption and leaving them there to continue. But again, I must say to the Grenadian people, we have power. When we see things like that, don't be frightened. I know to speak up. Otherwise, it will just go on and on and on and on. We have to speak up about it. And if they don't want to give us a job, we're all going to eat roast breadfruit and breadfruit together. But we have to speak about the corruption. It's the same way. People would tell me if I know somebody is stealing from my business, I would like to know about it. And I would investigate it, and I will do something about it. If I haven't done anything about it, then you have to turn around and say, well, Miss McQueen like it. I'm not going to say anything before again. So when the leader, any leader whatsoever, NNP, NDC, Peter, somebody report corruption to them, they have to take it seriously. Because if it's a business, you will take it seriously.
So, you anti-corruption in every form or shape. I just want us to go back a bit on GDB. Because in recent times, in recent publications on social media, you've been linked as one who was part of the corruption of GDB. I want you to explain to the Grenadian public your association with GDB even before you become a board member. Because there are certain things you need persons to understand and not to suggest. And lack of information causes speculation. I want you to lay it to rest now.
GDB, whatever I do, it could be exposed.
Yeah.
If I could put all GDB hasn't got enough money for me. Maybe if it was co-op, I think they have a lot more billions in there. I will not do anything that would affect GDB, is the Grenada Development Bank. I will not do anything. I would not get involved in any corruption whatsoever that would affect the people of Grenada. The role I play in GDB, obviously, I cannot speak about any individual case.
No.
I have to respect that. But the role I play, if somebody applies for a loan, we look through it, we go through it, and we make sure everything is okay. If I say I have seen anybody doing anything corrupt in GDB, then I am not telling the truth. Our chairwoman, she allows us, if there is something I decided I want to ask a question about, she has never turned around and said, you cannot ask that question or you cannot see that paper. If anything else goes on, then I haven't seen it with the directors that I am working with. I cannot swear for the whole of GDB, but I know my section. If I want to give my opinion on something, nobody ever said to me, I cannot give my honest opinion.
Mental health. Now, we spoke to Kianevis before, and the Drug Avoidance Committee once had a publication stating that in our country, a lot of the persons affected or young persons affected by mental health could be attributed to cannabis and rum. You have employed persons who are mentally challenged. You being part of the DPM, what would be the DPM's policy going forward on mental health?
As I said, Peter has said to us, we are a family. Peter has said it to us time and time again. We are not going to leave anybody behind. Every one of us has to come. You know, in a family, there is always one we all had to look after. I have a brother that suffers with mental health. Mental health to me is not, I grew up in the UK and there are people that has mental health that live normal job. We just have to make sure that we look after, for me, people that is mentally challenged, old people and children. We have to make sure we look after these people. One of the young men that is working with me, one day we was chatting, and he has mental health in the family. And you know what he said to me? I asked him, he was talking about he go and get his medication every Thursday. And he said to me, Miss McQueen, I pray to God that one day I will be okay. We have to speak to the, I meet them and I ask them, sometimes I ask them what went wrong, what happened. Some people had stress. I mean, I never knew. I have a young man walking with me that tried to kill himself 5 times. When he came in, I always thought, I didn't know anxiety was a form of mental health. His hands couldn't open. His fist was shut tight. And just, speaking to people, just giving people a hug, just allowing them to just cry on your shoulder, because mental health can happen to anyone. And we have a leader that has said no one is going to be left behind, and the people in society that cannot look after themselves, is going to be our duty to look after them. So that is the reason. That's one of the reasons why I care about people, and I have a leader that care about people. If I go to 100 houses in my village, 99% of them have something positive to say about my leader. That is the reason I am there. It's not about money, it's about people. So the people with mental health, that is mentally challenged, the people that is walking the street, you see people walking, we having tramps. We didn't used to have them things before. I have a leader that is saying we are going to make sure that we look after the people in our community that cannot look after themselves. I went into a home where I saw an elderly gentleman, and that man, he was clean. You could see his children looking after him. But he was in this home by himself. Now, homes in Grenada are very expensive. So obviously the family cannot afford to pay for that person to go into a home. This is wrong. When you see the money politicians are spending, the amount of money we spend on putting up that Christmas light, that money could have gone into a government home to look after old people. I met a woman that told me she worked on an estate for 50 years, and now it's her children that has to give her some money. I met another woman that told me they are pensioners and the electricity is going to cut off. I met a man, he said he knew me. He said he's 74 years of age. And he said, I go to work every day. I thought he's doing his gardening. This man work on a construction site every single day because the $300 a month he's getting cannot look after him and his wife. Now, can anybody tell me that is correct? The people that representing St. Andrew Southeast, I want all you around the table, right? Dr. Deacon Mitchell said the conch shell is going to blow. Before the conch shell blow, I want all you to come up and sit down with me and answer me that question. Why a man of 74 years of age has to be going and working on the construction site? And if you could give me an answer that is satisfactory enough, I'm going to step down.
Miss McQueen, in recent days, I've heard that you've embarked on giving back a soup kitchen or something of that sort to the less fortunate. Could you elaborate a bit more on that, and what's your intention by doing that?
My intention, as I said, being a representative, my eyes has really opened. And, you know, it makes me sad that I didn't realize these things before. This is something, in England, we have things where the government pays for food for the elderlies, you know, and they deliver it in front of the door. When I get in as the representative, this is something I'm going to make sure of. I hear things of people, old elderly people, and sometimes it's hard to believe, and I don't want to repeat it, that if an elderly person is ill at night and they had to call an ambulance, they have to pay for it. I want the representative, Ms. Pierre and Mr. David Andrew, come and tell me why a 90-year-old would have to find money to pay for an ambulance if they are sick in the night. Is it money or life we are thinking of? Why they would have to take the pain until morning before they could get the bus and go down. I have a house in Pitty-Matnick, and I was coming back to Grenada very early one morning, and I met an old man on the jetty. He said to me, his 2-year-old was in pain all night, and there wasn't a nurse or a doctor on the island. They had to wait until morning to take that child across. Come on. You know, we cannot treat our people like that. As I said, nearly 200 years slavery has been abolished in Grenada. Stop treating our people like slaves, like it does not matter. I see children with rotten teeth, adults with rotten teeth that cannot. I saw a young man once in so much pain. I said, what's wrong with you? He said that he has a toothache. He didn't even have the money to go and have that tooth extracted. These are the things that I'm seeing, and I'm saying I cannot speak for every constituency, but I'm telling the people of St. Andrews Southeast, I cannot do it by myself. I need you. I need every hands on deck, and I promise you things are going to change.
How was your visit in Grenville yesterday?
Well, you know, I like to talk. From the time I was a child, they always used to say, if Rolanda didn't talk so much, she would have done a lot better. So I'm in my glory. I met a young boy that came up to me, and he said, Miss, because they realized when I tell them, oh, I own Monk Pure Water, they are so shocked that you own Monk Pure Water, and they will come up to me, a young man tell me, you know what really surprised me? He came up to me and I said, what do you want to be? And he said, Miss, I want to own my own business. But what really surprised me, I said, what business do you want to own? He tell me he want to own schools, private schools, and supermarkets. And that really threw me back. So you see, our children has the dreams, and we has to make sure that that dream is not wasted.
What was your request to the government during the crisis of COVID?
You seem to have done a lot of research. One of my requests was during COVID that's another sad thing. Every government minister should give 15% of their salary. I decided to give 15% of my salary. And I remember calling my school, my local school, and asking the headmaster for some children. I thought he was going to give me, the most 5. I was totally shocked of the amount of people he gave me. I gave them something for quite a few months. But it's something I've been doing. I've been doing a school feeding program in my school for many, many years. And I remember the headmaster saying to me, I wouldn't call the school, I remember the headmaster saying to me, do I want to meet the children? And although I have helped my school for many years, I have never met the children. Do not know the parents. I do not want to meet the children, and I do not want to know the parents, because I do not want anyone feel they have to laud me and they have to think, oh, well, this woman did this for me. I'm doing it for my family. I don't want to, if I help in a child, I don't want to meet them. After the government decided to do the school feeding program, I phoned the school again and I said, listen, I was giving money every month because I don't like to know children hungry. I said, can I use that money? I don't want that money back. I want to give back. And he said to me, well, there is a parent that has very, very bright children. You could give that money to that child. I only met that child recently. I never met that child before. I didn't know the parent name, and I don't want to know the parent. When I'm helping, I'm really helping from a good place. Because the same thing I wish for myself and my kids, that is what I wish for every child in Grenada.
Anyone?
So, just to tip the conversation a bit.
Raise your voice, Devon. Raise your
Just to tip the conversation a bit. What is your view of our present constitution, and you given an opportunity to be part of government as an MP or otherwise, what would be your stance on our present constitution?
I think we have a lot of old-fashioned things still in our constitution in Grenada. I think we have to sit down and look at the different policies and really shape things around to suit us, to suit the people. So, as I said, it's about time we're telling people what we'll give them, and people asking us what they want, telling us what they want. So I think we have to sit down and we have to look at all the policies, all the laws and everything. We have to look at that. That's how I think about it. We have to start from a black canvas, sit down around the table with all the political parties and see what could come up that suit us. Because remember, we are working on a lot of things that was left to us by the colonizers. That does not suit us at this time.
What about the whole question of health insurance?
I think you're talking about health insurance. Where are people going to pay? When you're earning a little money, where are you going to get money to go and pay for health insurance? You know, I think we're making enough money. We only have a very small population that I believe that we make enough. When you look at the money we are selling for our passport, the money, they tell you the billions that is coming in, the money that is that's coming in. Why do we want to bring that burden on our people? If you own a certain amount of money a year, yes, I believe that we should contribute. But the people that work in for minimum wages, I don't think it's a good idea. I believe the government, let us take a few passport money and pay it towards health insurance. We're making enough money from selling passport. We're making enough money from tourism. What, we're going to suck our people dry? You know, that is why we have government there, to invest our money in the things that would benefit our people.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Ms. Macquin.
Give me voice.
Yeah. Final question. I want to ask you the last question. Some people feel that are always soft on Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell. I don't really believe that, honestly. Tell me something. Government House. Dr. Mitchell felt comfortable sleeping in Government House. Prime Minister Tillman Thomas felt comfortable sleeping in Government House. This Prime Minister felt uncomfortable to be in Government House. So he went and he rent an expensive building to the tune of over $25,000 a month. What is your take on that?
Well, I personally was shocked when I heard that. I don't think has they ever admitted to spending that type of money on rent. I will not take $25,000 a month and pay rent of my money and pay rent. I do not believe the Prime Minister will take $25,000 of his money to pay rent. I don't believe any politician would take $25,000 a month and pay rent. And if it is true that the Prime Minister is taking $25,000 a month and pay rent, when we have people in Grenada that is moving in the corner of their house so rain wouldn't wet them, it is wrong.
That's okay.
That's it, Devon, that's it. Huh?
Yes, that's it. I think that's that.
So before you leave, Miss Marquin, you told us a lot as to your intention. You told us why you choose the DPM and not another party. You told us what you brought to the table. You said what you'll do different. You said why people should vote for the DPM. So in closing, Miss Marquin, speak to the Grenadian people, because the DPM policy is not about color. Whether you're green, whether you're ripe, what the DPM is saying, we are an alternative to what is there. We are not claiming to be the panacea of every ailment. But what would you say to the Grenadian public in closing to emphasize why it is important to support the DPM? As you say quite eloquently, does the Grenadian public have anything to lose if they support the DPM? Because in many constituencies, and I'm sure you have experienced that, with persons on both sides of the political divide is dissatisfied with their own party's performance in government. What would you, in closing, what you want to say to the people?
First of all, I want to thank all the people that supported me in my business. Without you guys, I would not have done it. So I really want to thank you. Secondly, there is a job coming up for new representative of our constituencies. I'm asking every one of you to sit down, debate with your family. Don't look at me because I am supporting the movement. Look at me as somebody that will be able to do a good job. I am calling again for a debate between myself, David Andrew, and Miss Emlyn Pay. So you guys can decide. Remember, it is a job. It's not about party colors. It's a job. I'm asking you guys to demand it. And whoever win that position, you vote for them. Secondly, I am asking for all politicians to disclose their wealth. Because I said, then you're going to be able to know who is a thief and who is not a thief. If you go in with nothing and know you're a millionaire, you're a thief. So they shouldn't be afraid to disclose the money that they have. You know, I am happy to disclose mine, so they should be as well. So please, I cannot do it on my own. There is nothing wrong in giving me and the DPM a chance. We do not know everything. We're not going to come and tell you what we're going to give you. We're going to work together as a business, how a business works, and we are going to make sure we are accountable to the people of Grenada. As I said, in my business, I am accountable to the taxman, I am accountable to the people, the government, and so should every political party, so should every candidate, so should every representative. What we are going to do now is having Grenada as a business. So please, look at what I can offer. Ask your representative, to whoever is running in your area, ask them to sit down and have a debate with the other parties the people are going to be representing you. And I'm hoping after this conversation, we will be coming back very, very soon with the other political representative, and then you guys would make a chance. I'm asking the public to come in and interview. I am ready anytime, any place, anywhere.
Miss McQueen, a straight question. I'm a straight shooter. Are you confident that you could win the St. Andrews South East seat for the DPM? No corners cutting. Straight answer.
Yeah, because I believe
why?
St. Andrews South is need proper representation, and they are asking me for it. I go and I sit down and I speak to them, and when I go to them, I tell them, I am not coming here to ask you who you support. I don't really care who you support. What I'm asking is to give me that opportunity, give me that chance. I've got records that could show that I could represent you. So I know I am going to win. It don't even cross my mind that I'm not going to win. And when I win, I hope Miss Pierre and Mr. Andrew will come on board with me and make St. Andrews Southeast an area where everybody would be proud of.
So when you win, everybody in
South Boat. That is what our leader said to us.
And
everybody.
You told the people.
I tell them that. I tell them we have a leader that says we're not leaving anybody on board. And we have to work with everyone so we could take Grenada out of that type of situation they are living with. Slavery has been abolished nearly 200 years ago. We're saying we are independent. I met a big grown man walking for me. I said, what's your name? He tell me ramen. Come on. You know, I said, why ramen? He said, because that's all what I like to eat. And we have all this breadfruit and yam and all these things there.
So with Yolanda McQueen, if vote for Yolanda McQueen, you have nothing to lose.
You vote for me, you have nothing to lose. I can guarantee you I will do a lot more and much more than anybody that you had representing you before.
Well, I say thanks to you, Miss McQueen, for taking time off to come and speak to us and the Grenadian public. I do hope and I wish you every success in whatsoever time the election or the conch shall blow. Now, don't forget us when you enter into your kingdom. Leave the gate ajar. So, gentlemen, anything in closing?
Yes.
We are 1 minute there, what I mean?
Miss McQueen, you passed the test.
Thank you. So I'll be getting your vote.
Sisters and brothers, on the front line, there we had it. You had Ms. Yolanda McQueen sharing her views and her thoughts on what she wants to do. DPM is what the people needs. A different choice. A choice that they will not regret. A choice where the people speaks of what they want and not the politicians tell the people what they are giving. Have a blessed day.
DPM.
Thank you.
One of the questions was the true test of a leader. The leadership of the DPM have been tried. They have been tested in good times and in bad times. The leader in particular has shown to be a patriot by putting country first every time and not party. So to those who have the notion of grasshopping, they have to understand country always comes before party. And the leader of the DPM has always choose country first even in trying times as to when there was a vote of no confidence, if he was a mischief person and he didn't care for country first, he'd have supported it.
Yes.
Because persons on the other side at the time was not pleased when he didn't support it, even what he was going through. So very soon, we'll have the leader on this program to speak to matters pertaining to those issues and to clarify to you why he should be the choice for the next Prime Minister. Because he has served in successive governments, the Revolution, the PRG, the NDC, and the NNP, and he's always served with distinction. And contrary to popular opinion, he has always been the voice of reason. And we will get to that. So thank you for on the front line.
On
for
the front
today,
line.
the 5th of July, my birthday month, you know. The 21st is my birthday.
Yes.
So thank you everyone for having us in your place.
Respect.
This is water. This is my water. What's the color? This is her bag? Put this bag for us.